Good afternoon, everyone. This is review 2 of the stream we're going to do. So I've even got the stack. We've got the stack of books that we're going to review today. This is everything you need to catch up on. But today is Labyrinths by Borges. So I should start off by, when this went onto the list, I misread what it was, and I was like, oh, the novelisation of Labyrinth, the most wonderful film starring David Bowie's codpiece, and then was disappointed mildly to learn that it wasn't actually the novelisation of the fantastic film Labyrinth starring David Bowie's codpiece. It was in fact a piece of literature indeed, by Borges, who's what is he, Argentinian? I want to say he's Argentinian. I think he's Argentinian author, and it is very much written, and the whole the preface, the very very long preface, by the yes, he's Argentinian, by the translator, basically talks in glowing terms of the literary stance of Borges and how the book is a wonderful piece of literary work. And every time the translator said the word literary, my heart sank a little bit more, because that meant pretentious and boring. And you know what? It was pretentious and boring. It's not a particularly long book, but what it is, it's actually a collection of writings and parables and short stories collected into a single novel, a single book, I should say. And the point about it is that it becomes a piece of, it's a meta fiction, it's a meta piece of work. So one of the stories actually talks about a book called Labyrinths, and the fact it's basically a metaphysical object into the universe about choosing your own path and being able to move through the universe by choosing your path. And it's this mythical book, and there's a fantastic story written around it. And then you realise that the book they're talking about is the book you're holding in your hand, and and then it starts linking into all the stories and pieces of short work, and they start linking back into the meta element, and it's all very clever. It's supremely clever. However, none of the pieces of work in there alone were fantastically interesting. There's two really good pieces, and they're both near the start. I can't remember the names of them. The first one, the Lottery in Babylon, was fantastic. I really enjoyed that one. The Garden of Forking Paths. The Garden of Forking Paths, which is where the Labyrinths book is tremendous. It's actually a genuinely good short story. The rest of the short stories are a bit... The one that's supposed to be his best known one, which is Toulon Ukbar Orbis Tertius, is frankly rubbish. It's the one he's supposed to be best known for, and I did not enjoy it at all. And I get what he's writing, I get what he's doing with it. I understand about the idea that, changing reality through changing how people think, but where some of the other, where the best stories in the book are the ones where the sequence of events are believable. You can believe the metaphysics behind the Garden of Forking Paths, which is one of the reasons why I think it's really good. Plus, it's also a little bit of a kind of a crime / spy story, which works really well. But the Ukbar Toulon one, that is just basically it sits down and goes, imagine everything was different. How different would it be? It would be different, wouldn't it? If things were different, wouldn't they be different? Yes, they would be really, really different. And you're going to the end of it going, I don't understand what he's tried to say here. I don't understand anything about this other than, if things are different, wouldn't they be different? Yes, they would be. They would definitely be different. So it's my problem with the entire book is there's 2 or 3 really, really good stories, and the Garden of the Forking Path stands head and shoulders above all the other ones. And also, it's the link into everything else with Labyrinths and the book and everything else. It's the cleverest of the stories, and it's the one that ties everything together. The rest of them feel like they are literary, and they're not written for the likes of me. They're written for the likes of the translator. They're written for the likes of the classics professor at Oxford and Cambridge, who will sit down with this book and masturbate furiously to it. That's really the kind of writing that this is. It's really written for literary sake. And that's really frustrating to me. Really, really frustrating. I get it's clever, and I get he's clever, but if I had enough time on my hands, I could write something similar. I genuinely do believe that. If you have the idea in your head of how to link things in together into one metaphysical lump, then there's nothing in here that's particularly... what's the right way to put this? None of the stories are so outstanding, again, with the exception of the Forking Path one, that I didn't think that, it was a great piece of work. Now, I have to temper this by saying maybe it's the translation I'm reading. Maybe the translation isn't that great. I've written a few books that have been translated, and I'm beginning to think that there's an awful lot that gets lost in translation. I'll touch on that again when I get to Dostoevsky. But maybe it's the translation. Maybe being a little bit unfair on Georges Louis Borges by saying the translation, by complaining about him and when it could be the translation. Maybe it is. But again, it's a Penguin modern classic. It should be the best translation there is. But who knows? It's annoying. It's a genuinely annoying book because there's flashes of really, really good stories in there, but it's ruined beyond a flood of literary guff, which is very, very disappointing. So here's the one. Should you read this book? Should you read Labyrinths? Honestly, as a whole, probably not, unless you're of that particular bent, whether you kind of get off on literature being written as literature rather than written for other reasons. If you get off on that stuff, then yes, it's very, very clever, and you will enjoy how clever it is. If you're wanting to sit down and read a story or a novel or be entertained rather than going through an intellectual exercise, if you read for entertainment, no, this is not a book for reading for entertainment. It is a book that's written as an intellectual exercise. In which case, don't read it. But go ahead, go and read The Garden of Forking Paths and The Lottery of Babylon. Was it? Yeah. The Lottery in Babylon. Because they are the two best short stories. They will take you 10 minutes each, and they are worth reading because they are excellent. The rest of it, meh. So again, and I'm going to be saying this a lot, yes, good for some reasons, bad for other reasons. I'm not entirely sure I would go back to any of his work based on this. This hasn't really done it for me, but yeah, it's just me. So yes, so again, this is 100 book charity reads for the Archie Foundation. Reading 100 books in a year. Currently, we're 4 books behind schedule. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to get there. I've got holidays incoming where I can just churn out the books and get them read. We will get there. We will definitely get there. But yes, charity read, Archie Foundation raised over £750 so far. We're wanting to get it to £1,000. That would be fantastic, which we might or might not do by the end. I'd really like it to happen, but we'll see. But yeah, we're over halfway done with the books now, and it feels like we're starting to get through them a lot. We're almost 2/3 of the way through. Yeah, we will be soon. But yes, so it'll be another review. The next review will be The Secret History, and that's going to be in roughly 2 minutes once I go and find the cover on Amazon so I can steal it for OBS. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening, and I will hopefully see you all in 2 minutes' time. Thank you.